Now we are going to discuss Khushwant Singh's The Portrait of a Lady. Khushwant Singh was born on 2nd February 1915 and died in 2015, a person who lived 100 years or a centenarian. He is a famous Indian English writer and a journalist. He is a weekly column with malice towards one and all, carried by several Indian newspapers, is among the most widely read columns. He is well known in Indian literary history as one of the finest historians and novelists. A political commentator, an outstanding observer, and a critic of social life. So initially the editor asked us, do you enjoy your grandparents' company? Are they good friends? So, whether they like their parents or grandparents or not. So, read the following of the text carefully and now how the writer portrays them. Here, portrait means description. Portrait means description. Although portrait means picture, photograph, here it means description. And lady means the narrator's grandmother. The narrator's grandmother. So, my grandmother, like everybody's grandmother, was an old woman. The narrator, Khushwant Singh, describes about his own grandmother. He says that his grandmother was very old. She had been old and wrinkled for the 20 years that I had known her. For the last 20 years, she was not only old but also wrinkled. Wrinkled means fold on skin. So he was not only old but also wrinkled for 20 years. People said that she had once been young and pretty and had even had a husband. So, because she had been very much old and wrinkled for 20 years, the narrator did not want to believe the fact that once upon a time she was young and attractive. Pretty means attractive. Pretty means attractive. She doesn't want to believe it. Why? Because she was extremely old. And even he, the narrator, did not believe the fact that his husband, her husband was alive, because he thinks that his grandma was very old and her husband, means the narrator's grandfather, must have died. But that was hard to believe, difficult to believe. My grandfather's portrait, here portrait means photograph, was hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. Mantelpiece, M-A-N-T-L, mantelpiece, P-I-E-C. Mantelpiece means shelf. So it was above the shelf of the drawing room. He put on a big turban like the narrator as we have seen on his picture. The turban pagadi जिन भावरे खुशवंत सिंह गोटे बड़ पगड़ी पिंधि लूज फिटिंग ड्रेस पिंधि जेजा exactly he put on loose fitting dress and a turban, large turban he wore on his head. Turban pagadi. His long white beard covered the best part of his chest. He had white beard, it covered most part of his chest, and he looked at least 100 years old. Like him, his grandfather also looked like a person who lived 100 years or a centenary. He did not look the kind of person who would have a wife or children. He looked so old that it was hard to believe that his wife was alive, or even his sons and daughters were alive. The narrator believes that he looked so old that he had only grandchildren and his sons and daughters were no more, as he looked very extremely old. He looked as if he could have only lots of grandchildren. As per my grandmother, being young and pretty, the thought was almost revolting. Revolting means unbelievable. Revolting means unbelievable. He does not believe the fact that once upon a time his grandma was young and attractive. She often told us games she used to play as a child. The grandma told the narrator about her childhood games and sports that seemed quite absurd. Absurd means unusual, abnormal, absurd, unusual, abnormal means the sports and games which the narrator's grandma told him that she used to play as a child. It was not believable, as it seemed unreasonable or abnormal. And we treated it like the fables the prophets used to tell us. So what do you mean by fable? Fable means a story in which birds and animals speak and act like human beings. So, as the grown-up people do not believe the fact that the animals and birds they do not talk, although it is written for the sake of children. Likewise, the narrator considered, treated means considered, treated, considered. The narrator considered the fables as utterly lies, and the prophets used to tell us. Often she told narrator a story that ends in a moral about some prophets. Prophet means Mahapurusha, prophet. Great personality, great persons like Buddha, Vivekananda, so as the narrator did not believe the fables told by Rama or the stories of the prophets told by her, similarly he did not believe the sports and games which she told him that she used to play during her childhood. She had always been short, dark and slightly bent. She was not only fat but also short and a little bent. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles. The crisscross means full of cross marks. Crisscross. Crisscross. Full of cross marks. Cross marks. Like her face was full of cross marks, running from everywhere to everywhere. Means wherever you see on her face, you find cross marks on her face. It was full of wrinkles. No, we were certain she had always been, as we had known her, terribly old. Old, so terribly old. So extremely old, terribly means extremely old, that she could not have grown older. She looked so old that it was impossible on her part to grow older, more old, and had stayed at the same age for 20 years. She looked like the same, for last 20 years. She could never have been pretty. So a lady like her could never have been pretty, attractive, but she was always beautiful. She looked always beautiful, not at all pretty or attractive. She hovered about the house in a spotless white. Hovered means hovered. Wagged. About, around. She was around the house means she did not walk fast, she walked slowly. So she walked around the household. She went only to nearby places or on the periphery campus of the household, wearing spotless white dress. She had put on white dress on which there was no mark. It was absolutely white, with the one hand, especially left hand, resting on her waist. To balance her stoop means bend. She put her left hand on her waist to balance her body from bending. The other means the right hand. She used to tell the beads of rosary. Rosary, Jopamala, beads, boti. Tell while she drops or while she counts the beads of rosary. She tells the names of God. She was utterly religious, so she was chanting the name of God while dropping the bead of her rosary. Rosary means Jopamala, which has 108 beads. Her silver locks. Locks means hair. Silver means white. Lock, L-O-C-K, locks, hair. Silver, white. Her silver, white hair scattered untidily, disorderly over her pale, dry, puckered, having pock marks or having the marks of smallpox, Vasanta Dagga on her face, her lips constantly moving inaudible prayer. She always prayed to God, but her prayer was not audible, not clearly distinct, not clearly understood. But she always continued her prayer, which was very indistinct, not properly audible to the persons living nearby. Yes, Grandma was beautiful. She was like the winter landscape in the mountain. Landscape means landmark. As mountains looked white during winter season, likewise the narrator's grandmother looked white, wearing her spotless white dress, an expanse of her, an area of her pure white, an expanse is stretch of land, an area of her pure white. She looked like a mountain wearing white dress, symbolizing serenity within peace and contentment. She was an epitome of serenity, peace and contentment. Serenity means serenity. S-E-R-E-N-I-T-Y. Serenity means calmness. Calmness. And contentment means contentment. Santosam, satisfaction. Satisfaction. Grandma was an epitome of satisfaction, calmness and peace. Serenity, calmness, contentment, satisfaction, portrait description, lady the narrator's grandmother, silver white, wrinkled golden skin, pretty attractive, mantelpiece, shelf, thacker, revolting, unbelievable, absurd, unusual, abnormal. A story in which birds and animals speak and act like human beings, treated, considered, prophet great persons like Buddha, crisscross full of cross marks, like plus, hobbled back, about, around. Why was it hard for the author to believe that his grandmother was once young and pretty? It was hard for the author to believe that his grandmother was once young and pretty. Because she was extremely old, she looked the same. For 20 years, the narrator had known her. How did the grandmother appear in his portrait? How did the grandfather appear in his portrait? The narrators grandfather put on a big turban and loose fitting long white beard covered most of his chest. Number 3. What sort of person did he look in his portrait? In his portrait, which was hung above the mantelpiece. His grandfather looked like a centenarian. He did not he looked so old that it seemed he did not have it seemed as if he did not have any wife or children. Except his lots of grandchildren. Lots of grandchildren. It was hard for the author to believe that his grandmother was once young and pretty, because she was extremely old. She looked the same. For 20 years, the narrator had known her. The narrator's grandfather put on a big turban and loose-fitting dress. His long white beard covered most of his chest. It was not visible. In his portrait, which was hung above the mantelpiece, his grandfather looked like a centenarian. Centenarian, C-N-T-N-A-R-I-N, centenarian. He looked so that it seemed as if he did not have any wife. He did not have any wife or children except his lots of grandchildren. We shall discuss the remaining part of the questions, that is question number 4, 5 and 6 in the next class.